not going to do a super long video. I've been gone a minute, obviously. Good thing Vin's been uploading a bunch of shit. But I do want to talk a little bit about kind of like falling off and getting back on. Because that recently just happened to me. So I was on my game, right? I was not in the middle of my cut, kind of in the beginning of the cut. A couple weeks in, I went from 196, I think, 194, something like that, down to 178, something like that. Then, as you know, I got that job. I had to go to the academy for a couple of weeks and kind of fell off a little bit. Not completely, but the hotel they had me in, the gym, fucking sucked. Thank God I brought weights with me. So you make do with what you got, right? Now my eating fell off big time. Living out of a hotel for a couple of weeks fucking blows. Couldn't do my prep, couldn't do anything like that. I would prep before I went down there and then come back on the weekends, prep some more, and go back down there. But I wasn't prepping enough. I didn't have the right, I had a tiny little fridge, so I can only fucking put so much in it. So food-wise, took a hit for sure. My workouts took a hit for sure. But you got to do what you got to do. So falling off and getting back on. Getting back on is the important part. Not falling completely off, right? Let's get a little more fucking light in here. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. So not falling completely off. If you're still working out, say 2-3 days a week, and normally you do 5 or 6 days a week, and you've gotten all the way down to 2, you know, right? You start to feel it. I know I certainly did. So once I got back from training and started trying to figure out, I kind of had to rewrite my program because my normal days now, my normal times now wasn't going to work, not with my schedule. So I took a little while, right? A few weeks now. I've been, going into my first full month, I think. Which I love it, by the way. If anyone was wondering, I'm sure you're not. But I do love it. I do feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. So that being said, it's taken like this whole month of trying to figure out when I'm going to work out now. How tired am I? Bullshit like that. But you just got to change things up. So normally I would work out around 4 or 5 o'clock almost every day because that's what my schedule allowed. Now there's times I got to work out at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning or 11:30 at night. Does it suck? Sure it does. Is it the end of the world? Nope. I'll get through it, right? If I get home at 11 or 11:30 and I got to go do an hour workout, it's not the end of the fucking world. I'm in bed by 1, I'm back up and on the grind. It's going to pay dividends long term anyway, right? You could either completely give up or you could take a step back accidentally, I guess, kind of, or just life and get your ass back in gear and get going. You can't just be one of those guys that you stop for a few weeks and you keep telling yourself like, I'm gonna start again. You're telling everybody else like I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna start again, but then you never do. And it's like 1 week turns into 2, turns into a month, turns into a year, turns into you lost everything and you're fucking starting over again. You don't want to be that guy. I know I don't want to be that guy, and I know the couple of weeks that I would go 4 or 5 days hard as fuck, and then not do shit for 4 or 5 days, and would hate myself. Honestly, I'd be in my own head like, "The fuck are you doing?" Like, I understand you're tired. I understand you're trying to figure out the schedule and redo your program now, but get your fucking ass in gear and get going. So sometimes you almost need that remotivation, right? We talk about the whole motivation thing about how it's gone after a few weeks. And it is. I'm way too far into this to rely on motivation. But I almost had to remotivate myself. And in some ways, some of the dudes I work with were kind of remotivating me without even knowing it. I got a couple of young dudes, really early 20s that I work with who are like workout freaks, just getting into it, and they do some good things and they do some stupid things. Talking to some of them, some of them fall right into that. I'm gonna buy this because this guy's on it, or I'm gonna buy fucking Total T because Frank Thomas said so. They're living and learning, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's like that shit's not gonna put the work in for you. So some of these guys I work with, they work hard, and I see their daily struggles just when it comes to food, right? And I've been there. I get that as well. But they'll bring in a little, morsel of food and be like, this is dinner. And it's like, I get it. I understand where you're at. It fucking sucks when you're just getting into that, say a cut phase, and you're coming out of like a bulk. Yeah, man, it seems like you're fucking starving. In reality, when you're eating, 1,800 calories or 2,000 calories, which is plenty in real terms, but it feels like you're fucking starving, especially when you're coming off of 5,000 calories for your bulk. So yeah, watching some of these young guys that are 22, 23 and just have natural fucking testosterone just shooting through them. Watching them eat, their little morsel, but then talk about, going to the gym for 2 hours and kicking ass. And the guy I work with was like 270 pounds. He's down to like 230 and he's jacked. He's not ripped up yet, but I mean, he's getting there. And he's fucking determined. He's disciplined as fuck. And without me even telling him about the whole motivation thing, like he understood. He understood that motivation's gone after a month and discipline kicks in, and you got to kick ass from there on out. And whether you got to fucking give yourself a fucking pep talk every morning or whatever, or you just come to that realization that I just did, which I mean, I already knew it, but you almost have to talk yourself into it. Hey man, what the fuck are you doing? You're falling off. Get back on your shit. Get back on your diet. Get back on your grind. That workout sucked. You didn't fucking go hard enough. I just texted Vin, I don't know, maybe a week ago, and told him, like, I'm not working out hard enough. Like, I got to step it the fuck back up. But realizing that and allowing yourself to realize that. Don't just be that guy that's like, I'll get back on. Someday I'll get back on. Because that someday is going to turn into a long time. And you're going to sit there and you're going to reminisce about, man, remember when I had all this definition and I had shoulders and I had this and I had that and I was, 190 pounds in great shape, and now I'm 270 and I have no definition. I have to start over, and I'm gonna, but I don't know when. You don't want to be that guy, because that blows big time. So yeah, so anyway, that's just like a small update. I'm trying to find the kind of time to put into videos. It's kind of hard. I don't know how the hell Vin even does it, to be honest with you, with the amount of hours that he works and trains. I don't know how he finds a minute. I mean, it's probably smart that he does it while he's training. So, I mean, he kind of kills two birds with one stone. That's kind of smart. I do want to do more videos of actual, training and lifting, and not just spewing fucking words out, and then you go and find Vin's videos and you're like, oh, that's how you work out. I just don't have the kind of setup that Vin has. Now I have an awesome gym and an awesome setup at work, but I work in, a juvenile facility. I can't bring my phone in. I can't bring anything. I can't record anything. And I also have some great kids there who are really getting into fitness. And that's fun. That's fun to have, 18, 19-year-olds really try and learn about fitness and ask me a bunch of questions about fitness. What's funny is, like, I was the old guy at work, which is crazy at 39, but I work with a lot of young people. So it's like they were busting my balls about being the old guy. But then when they see my actual physique, like, when I showed them, because it's hard to see all covered up, they were like, fuck, like, he's old, but he's in good fucking shape. And then you get guys that ask you, like, how did you get like that? And what kills me about most people, it's like, if I ask you, how did you learn how to hit a baseball? And you broke it down to me, like, this is what I did, this is how you do it, this is how I swing, this is how I lift my leg. I'm going to try and do that, right? Like, I just picked your brain about it. Now I'm going to take all that information you gave me, and I'm going to apply it into what I'm doing to try and hit a baseball. So you ask me, how did you do all that? And I give you a step-by-step breakdown, right? And I tell you the shit to avoid, the shit to put into your program, the shit to make sure you hit, you know, do your macros, do your creatine, do your protein, do all that. If I tell you all that, and you continue to tell me about, yeah, I don't know, it's just not, I'm not getting there for some reason, but I'm glad you did. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and maybe it'll turn around. What? Why the fuck did you just pick my brain and ask me all this shit? I'm trying to tell you what worked for me and why I look the way that I look when you asked. And you take all of that and you're like, work for you. That's cool. Probably would work for me if I apply it, but I'm just going to keep doing the same fucking thing I've been doing. Also, like me and Vin touched on, the instant gratification era, right? And I see that with some of the younger dudes that I work with who work out and who are really into fitness right now. The guy who's 270 is a perfect example of that. He was 270, he's 235 now. He understands what it took to get there. He understands it wasn't overnight. It took a long time, it took a lot of work. But now his 23-year-old mind wants a six-pack yesterday, right? And he talks about it often. Even though he just put all that work in, all that time in, realized how long it took to get there. But now in his 23-year-old mind, he's like, I should have a six-pack. I should have one this week. That's that instant gratification thing that doesn't fly with me, doesn't fly with Vin, doesn't fly with most of us, right? Yeah, are we from a different era? Absolutely. We're from the era of like rinse and repeat, and eventually you're going to get there. Especially with fitness, like that's number one, right? Rinse and repeat. Rinse, repeat, discipline. That's like your three things right there. You're going to get there if you do those three things. As long as you have the right kind of program in line and you know you're doing the right shit. You're not eating fucking a large pie every other day, and you know what the fuck you need to do and what you don't need to do. And you also know that eventually you'll get there. So I try telling this guy, kid, guy, whatever you want to call him, you'll get there. Just keep doing what you're doing. Right now you're hitting all your macros. You're working out like a beast. You know, you're doing fucking 20 different ab workouts. You're going to get there. You're just not going to get there, you know, by Wednesday. Doesn't work like that. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to lift that shirt up and you're going to start seeing these abs start forming. And that's going to be an awesome day. It's just not going to happen tomorrow. So that's kind of why I didn't overthink the whole, damn, I fell off for a few weeks thing. Because I don't look for instant gratification. I do understand that I'm going to jump back on, and I don't care if it's a year from now or 2 years from now or 5 years from now, to where I'm at a place where I finally feel like, fuck, like I'm there. Because I'm in it for the long game. Don't be in it to have a little bit of tone and a little bit of definition just for summer, right? For your summer bod. Play the long game.